What a dream. Caroline dream. The highlight of the unconference, the unhighlight. No, she's the highlight. We're doing a festival, October 25th, 27th, and you are going to laugh, but more than you're going to laugh, you're going to cry. No, I mean, you're going to laugh and you're going to discover something about yourself. Caroline, in your 35,000 years of doing clown, she's the first female clown in the UK. Not officially, but I call her that. What have you noticed about people who come to a clown class and when they leave, they've developed a new habit? Is there something that you've seen repeatedly that happens magically?
Yes, a lot of people come to clown class, and what happens in clown class is that your inner barriers just kind of break down because a lot of the time we're playing, and so through play you kind of forget yourself. It's like a forgetting yourself. So your self-identity becomes malleable rather than rigid.
So the hippies say, I have to find myself, but would you say you have to let go of yourself to find yourself? Ooh, no? Should I light incense? No?
I think as soon as we step out of ourselves in any way or shape, we can our perspective changes on everything. And so we can decide again, whether this kind of behavior we actually want, or this thought we actually believe in. Because a lot of the time we're on automatic pilot. And so it's really important to have these spaces where we can just forget about what we think we know about ourselves, or what we, the rigidity of the way that we hold ourselves, and just allow ourselves to play and be relaxed, and so much comes out of that experience.
You know, the most annoying thing is, audience, that I've taken 13 classes with Caroline Dream, and the new people who have never taken even one class are just as funny as I am. It's very frustrating because everyone, well, explain this to me, because I see everyone as an amazing clown because humans just have this humanness about them that is delightful to watch. Or what is it that happens there?
Well, yeah, I mean, we all love observing other human beings, but what makes us funny is that moment where we take off our social mask, that we let our armor just drop for a minute, and underneath, that's the beautiful human being. That's the funny human being, because it's the human being that is real, that has problems and difficulties and, has different types of emotions. It's not the Facebook me.
What? Ding. So human problems, watching other people in human problems is very funny for us. And so if that person doesn't express any emotions while they're suffering in the problems, we don't enjoy it so much, right?
We're talking,
if they're cool about it.
We're talking drama here, theatrical space. So I don't know about therapeutic spaces as much, but within my field, it is very funny. Audiences love watching clowns go through a moment of suffering because they know that it's playful and the clown isn't really suffering inside on a personal level. They're allowing themselves to have this kind of space around the suffering, and that is very transformative too. I often say to people, who have, I don't know, they're shy, for instance. So okay, come out and play that. Play with what's real for you, and as soon as they do, it kind of begins to transform in a way that's much faster. Sorry to say, than lying on a therapeutic couch for 30 years. You know?
We have been talking, I've talked about 45 people in these interviews, and what I've come to conclude is that talking about changing behaviors doesn't work, because I should have gone to the gym 40 interviews ago when I realized that's what I needed to do. But talking about it and the mindset of doing it doesn't work, and that's why things like improv and clown move you into action, and realizing that when I exercise, it hurts. Do I want to live like that for the rest of my life? Like just thinking about the gym or thinking about being thinner doesn't really work, or guilt. It's like when you move into action, things change and your brain processes things differently. So it's like talk therapy. It doesn't, I did a lot of it, and I did a lot better healing in clown classes than I did in therapy. And I'm a therapist, okay? So I suggest we combine the two.
I'm not against therapy at all. I've done it myself for years, and I think it's important that we understand mentally a lot of things and the mental structures that we have.
It's called debrief.
Yeah.
Not all of it.
Absolutely. You know, I'm not against it. Absolutely. It's saved my life on so many levels. But those artistic moments where we're playing music or listening to music, dancing, moving, whatever it is, have this transformational effect on us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scientifically been studied by so many people over the years.
And so most people are afraid to look like an idiot. And I have a theory that's called the idiot mindset. And if you have I-D-O-I-T and you switch I-D-I-O-T, yes, that's how you spell it. And if you switch the I, like the ego, the image, like I don't want to look like an idiot, I don't want to be expulsed from the community, and you put opportunity, which is the third letter of that word, in front of it, you get I do it. So you have to look like an idiot before you actually get success in anything. And with clowning, you look like an idiot with a bunch of idiots, and it's a celebration of like just being human, that we have to go through tough things. You know, like when someone feels embarrassed, you often laugh at them, and it helps. So like, how do you take sensitive situations where people are like, oh my God, this reminds me of when I was bullied as a kid, and you're like, great, play that more. You know, is that cathartic? Is that...
Well, not everyone, it wouldn't be what I would say to everyone, you know.
Yeah.
You've got to be sensitive about these things. Not everyone you can just say, go with it.
Yeah.
Because some people's inner pain or barriers are greater than other people's. Yeah. So you have to be very sensitive in this work with people.
You are.
And allow them to make the decision and them to make the choice. Before helping anyone in that way, I always ask them, I always say, I'd like to help you. Would you like the help? Yeah, so they make the decision in that moment, and some people have said no, I'm not ready for it yet, and that's great. That's great. They know where they are at, and they know that they're not able to shift that yet.
And this idea about like rejection, it's like my favorite word in Spanish. I said it a million times in therapy. It's like when you get rejected and you do something funny and nobody laughs, it burns a hole into my soul. It's so painful for me because I have a self-image that I'm a funny person. So does clown have the ability to like take out your images of you and turn them on the head, and then you redefine yourself, or is it just take out what you actually were and you kind of like reprocess it, or like you've thought about what's happening to us?
What you're saying is that there is a wound in you, yes, that is rejection, when people don't have the required response.
Did you hear that?
That you
laugh when I'm funny.
Exactly, you know, like this is what I need to feel good, and if I don't get it, I'm going to feel bad.
And not everyone has that?
Yeah, but well, not that.
Oh.
But you've found your trigger point, so to speak, which is great. Yeah.
Great, I love it.
No, it's great that you recognize it. That's the first step to any transformation, is to become conscious that exists. And then what do you do with that? How do you go on stage and fail? Yeah. And be playful, remain playful. It's you know, you said before, it's like a real habit change. You've got to change that habit of rejection, pain to rejection. Yeah. So what?
It's like if someone says to you like, oh my God, you look like an idiot. You're like, yeah, I know, isn't it great? Like, it got a laugh. Yes, like, end, which is what I've lived by since I found improv like 20 years ago. And it's this idea like, that wasn't funny. Yeah, and I'm gonna try something else next time. Yeah, I felt rejected. Yeah, and that was painful, so I'm going to breathe better next time. Instead of like, oh, that was terrible. Like, it's just like moving on. The next scene is coming. Like, laugh at yourself and move on and try again. Because the clown, what you taught me is like fast. It doesn't work. You do something, it's not funny. You gotta think of something new. You don't spend a minute crying because nobody laughed at you.
Certainly don't spend a minute crying. But it's not about thinking about something new. It's about allowing those pleasure impulses their space. Yeah, so you're following your inner guide that's going, yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be fun, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When do you ever follow a pleasure impulse? Right?
Exactly. You don't.
Only you can follow a pleasure impulse with a bunch of people. And it's not sexual. Oh, that's why I love it.
And it's not fattening as well, which is great.
That's great, yeah, because usually pleasure is either sex or food or thrift store shopping.
Yeah, but we're talking about a completely different pleasure impulse here. You know, it's that voice that allows us to move the body in, or express who we are. Yes, that can bring immense pleasure to you.
Well, it's like to be seen expressing your pleasure and not getting rejected for it. Because we've been, in North America, been told, you're a nerd if you like something too much. Oh, what a geek, you like math. Oh, you like playing the instrument, whatever. And it's like, everyone just wants to be like, cool. Yeah, I don't like it too much, it's okay, mega. It's like, it's okay. But here you're like, oh my God, there was butter on my toast. Like, you over express, or you can just do it very cool. There's butter on my toast. You can do whatever you want, but it's like whatever comes out of you is probably very likely you, because you have no reins pulling you back. So it's like the most freeing thing to like be you, and people clap at the end. You know, where in the world do people clap when you are yourself?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's an immense pleasure in just being approved, in being seen, in being, you know, allowing yourself that recognition from others. There's a huge pleasure in that, obviously.
Allowing recognition. It's beautiful too, for being yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, like in the real world, a lot of times women were socialized. When someone says, oh, I like your dress, well, thank you. We usually say, oh, it's nothing. Oh, it only costs 5 years. Oh, which are all true. But like to like let someone appreciate you in your like humanness. No one here goes like, when we clap, they don't go, oh, no, don't clap. Like everyone's just like, you know, because you encourage us to like take it in. And if we don't stay there long enough, you're like, come on, you're with them right now. Like be present with them. Like they're appreciating you. And how often do we get appreciated, right?
Yeah.
Other than, no, I was gonna say our mom, but that's not so often either.
No. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at in my workshop is failure. Shifting that. I think it's really important to recognize that even though we've had work with it, and that we understand that we need to fail in order to become successful, and there are these inner pain points around failing that we still, you know, still keep us in the I don't want to fail. And working with clown is very transformative in that, because the clown fails. I mean, it's just part of the job description.
If the clown doesn't fail, not much happens in the audience. It wasn't very successful. A clown that doesn't do anything wrong doesn't really get a laugh.
Well, no, it can't. A clown obviously can get a laugh, not necessarily through failing, because there's other things involved. But it's one of the major ones, because clowns are going to take risks. And if you take risks, at some point you're going to fail.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when that happens, you remain playful. You recognize the failure, you accept that you failed, but you don't fall into the hole of failure.
The bowl of cookies, as I like to call failure. The bowl of cookies. Yeah. 16, take the pain away. Man, if I just had clown class every day. Can you self-clown?
You can. I mean, I'm doing this with my group right now. I'm sending them little practices, daily practices. Cool. Like when your meditation practices, I'm doing the daily clown practices.
Wow.
And they are very effective. Yeah, just
daily.
Yeah, because they're just little small thing that you might want to do can be very transformative.
Wow.
On your day.
Just the other day, I was sitting on the airplane, and my boyfriend has really big shoulders, and I do too. And we were sitting beside you, and I just like, oh God, you're so wide. Thank God we had an extra seat, right? I just said it like that, and he's like, well, you're not small either. And inside of me, I was like, oh, I think he just called me fat. Oh, I'm so mad at him. He just da-da-da. And inside, like, the clown in me would be like, really? Well, I'll just get wider. Or like, whoa, you know, like, to play with the insult is a totally different mindset. And totally, I was mad at him for 2 days. That wasn't very clown of me, right? But it's like, to be able to like flip the uncomfortable stuff, being like, yeah, and let's find the play in it, because yeah, I do eat too many cookies. It is true. So like, why cry about it? Like, play with it. Like,
but there's also a thing which is retelling your own stories. Yeah. I mean, this is a story that you tell yourself
a lot.
Immediately. You know, it's like somebody says, "Oh, you're white too," and you're immediately thinking, "Oh, criticism." Yeah, and this story can be completely different, as you just said. You know,
is there another way to describe wide?
You just think, you know, how beautiful you are always. You know, so
that's a reframe.
It's just a retelling your story. What story you're telling yourself?
Yeah,
and clowns tend to tell themselves positive stories all the time. Otherwise, we'd never go out on stage in front of people.
I'm as wide as a house, as beautiful as a house, and people want to be in me, around me. Yeah, it's funny to play with the thoughts that you have had for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Exactly. Like the same story that I tell myself, be like, oh no, it could just be that. But you can't do that if you're wanting to punch him in the face.
As soon as you go there, it's kind of like a closed door.
I play so little on a daily basis, it's insane. It's really a bummer. And you have to plan it to some degree, because you have to bring joy and laughter into your life, and playfulness and lightness and reminders for it. So it's great that your community has reminders to be playful every day.
Yeah, it is very different. Relationships are completely different when there's humor.
So what is it like being married to a clown? Are you laughing all the time?
Well, it's not as much fun as one would think. And it's not about the cream pies either.
You guys are just contemplating. Who makes the cream pies this week? That's why you have kids, so she can make them.
Yeah, I mean, in our line of work, we work as clowns, and so it's like that clown is within us, and we have this changed perspective because of that. But we're human beings as well.
So. If only could we just be clowns, not humans.
Well, that would be hard to get anything done in life.
Great. I just made a post and I talked about like dogs, and a lot of people are like, dogs are better than humans. And I'm like, yeah, because we're not humans. Like, we're humans and we have our flaws and we make mistakes and we hurt people's feelings. And like a clown would also hurt people's feelings probably. It's like, we're just these flawed human beings that make mistakes, and if you can laugh about it, better than cry about it. It's like, you literally have two choices. You know, mistake, or, wow, hope that doesn't happen again tomorrow. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Really, is it that simple?
No, unfortunately not.
Oh, we don't have enough time.
Because there are times when, you know, laughter is not the correct response for you as a sane person. Sometimes you have to put a limit. Sometimes you have to walk away. So
that's true. I guess there's
I
different
think
types of laughter.
It's more about becoming an adult, you know. And I think clowning, much in contrast to the idea of clowns as being childlike and all that, I think it actually helps you mature, become a better person, a better adult, a better socially adjusted being.
Oh yeah.
So I think it really does help you mature rather than keep you infantile in a way. That's my take on it.
So all of you infantile attendees, you will be transformed by Caroline's
mature
workshop.
Adults in my clown workshop.
Recommend any immature person that you know to attend the Change Days unconference in Barcelona. It's going to be fun. We also have Manolo, where he's going to be doing some stuff with Play 14, which has been going on for 11 years, which you get together and you play, and everyone contributes with their idea. And so we're going to have an open space with that same idea. It's like everyone's going to have their idea, and that's it. Whoever comes, whatever ideas flow, and you can cross-pollinate. You can come to this session, and then you can move over to this session. It's like the whole idea is like this lightness, not about like the old way. We learn by watching PowerPoints, right? Do we? Or do we learn by like playing the lesson on the PowerPoint, you know, and failing and then trying again? So you are going to sweat. That's for sure at these sessions. So my sweaty and mature attendees.
Yes.
Get ready. Any last words, Madame? Author of
I'm so looking forward to this. It's going to be a ball. I mean, all the people that Jessica has got involved in it is just incredible. I mean, this is going to be the event of the decade, I think.
Decade, not just a year.
Until the next time you organise the next event. But Jessica is super in organising events, and I'm really keen. I'm just waiting for people to arrive.
October 25th. Woo woo. Thanks, clown. Honk.
Thank you, clown. Honk.